For today's dark adventure, we find ourselves once again in Westland, Michigan at the Chubb Cemetery. The reason I say once again is because it was just yesterday that we were here at Chubb Cemetery doing a short video. Check that out in Kelly's Dark Adventures YouTube account so you can get caught up to date. The reason we're here again is it wasn't enough time, 60 seconds, to show this whole graveyard, this whole cemetery. Even though I say whole cemetery, it's a very, very small cemetery. There's 30 people buried here from the 1800s. And being that there's only 30 people here, it won't take long at all to go through the whole cemetery and do a thorough job showing the history of this cemetery. And I have a short few paragraphs I want to read off from the internet telling us about Chubb Cemetery. And so here we go. Chubb Cemetery, located at 38450 Warren Road, Westland. As early as 1825, Glode Chubb, a known participant in the Underground Railroad, used to spirit slaves to freedom, purchased the plot of land now known as the Chubb Cemetery. It once housed a church and was used as a burial ground as early as 1849, based on a grave marker for Hannah Chubb, Glode's 4-year-old daughter. And so we have deeded to the city of Westland in 1968. The burial ground had not been well maintained, but a pair of Boy Scouts, Sam Burhart and Jacob McNally, cleaned up the area and built wooden grave markers as part of their Eagle Scout project in 2015. Now the cemetery looks orderly, if not a bit out of place, between two private residences, and include a center walkway and flagpole. The cemetery houses 30-some marked graves, including those of Glode and Pamelia Chubb, landowners, original landowners, and their son Lucius, who died during the Battle of Gettysburg in 1863. Many markers contain little information. The latest marked grave is that of one Herman Adler, who is said to have died in 1913 at the nearby Eloise Hospital. So, with that being said, I'm going to pause the video and we're going to walk through the cemetery and discover it all. We're going to explore. We're going to see some of the graves, some of the tombstones of some of the people that I just mentioned in those few paragraphs. So let's check it out. Let's go explore. Okay, so to pick up where we started yesterday, I started in the short video with the same camera angle on these two graves. And like I was saying, I felt it was injustice to do a 60-second video, a short video, on this unique historical cemetery. So we're back. We're gonna do a complete video, and since the cemetery is so small, it won't take long. I'm just gonna cover all the graves, cover the family plot, and let's move. Let's check it out. I'll give you a panorama view first before I move. I'm in the far right back corner of the cemetery. Out there is the roadway. The family plot is directly in front of you in the middle of your screen. We got the entrance, the gate entrance to get in here at the front. And we have a flag pole in the middle of the cemetery with a walkway. Now the Boy Scouts came in here in 2015 and they cleaned the cemetery up. a lot of the tombstones were so old you couldn't read them. So they cleaned up the cemetery, put in this brick walkway, and they replaced those unreadable concrete tombstones with these wooden crosses with the names of the deceased on them, like it was on their tombstone, their headstone. So the person who started the cemetery, named Glody, or Glode, I think I'm saying that right. Let's go over to the sign out front and we'll get a quick shot of the historical sign here. I'll let you read it. Yeah, Glode or Glody. I don't know how you pronounce the person's name. If you know how to pronounce that, whether it's Glode or Glody, please make a comment in the section below. So anyways, I'm going to go back to the very back of the cemetery. We probably have 4 or 5 minutes left on this video. It won't take long to cover this. I really thought it would be cool to do a complete video on such a small cemetery. The smallest one in Westland, Michigan. And while I'm walking back, please hit the like button, subscribe with all notifications. Check out my other videos, please. We'll get this plaque here. I don't know what this says. Maybe up close we can. Oh, it says Eagle Scout Projects, Troop 744, Samuel Bernard, Jacob McNally, 2015. They're the ones responsible for cleaning up this cemetery. It was in bad shape, uncared for many years, until 2015 when they took it and cleaned up. So we'll come back this way and we're going to cover some of these people in this cemetery. We're going to shine some light on the life of each individual who once lived just like you and I, and we're going to honor them. We have Lyman Weed, July 30th, 1861 to April 3rd, 1863. And I think instead of reading all these, I'm just going to let you read them. If you need to pause the video, you can go ahead and pause it. And here we have Mary Northrup. Very old cemetery, started in 1849. Is what that sign said, I believe. Now here's Elmer Northrup. Looks like he bought a plot or had a plot ready, but maybe he's not here. There's no death date, so we wonder what happened to him. Now here's the family plot, and in the beginning of the video, if you remember the names Hannah Chubb and Lucia Chubb, well, here we are. Here's Hannah Chubb. She was only 4 years old when she passed away. It was Glode, or Glody's daughter. Well, back there we have, well, I'm confused because now we have two stones here. Lucy's Chubb has two stones. I'll tell you in a minute why I say that. I'm going to stretch the camera. It says Lucius W. Chubb, Private Company C, 24th Michigan Infantry, September 20th, 1842 to August 17th, 1863. Now, here's his tombstone, Lucius Chubb. Now, remember, in the beginning of the video, the paragraphs I read, he was a Civil War soldier. He died in the Battle of Gettysburg. in 1863. So imagine that. He passed away as a young man, about 20, 21 years of age. 161 years ago since he passed. He's in this cemetery. He served his country. He died for us. Now here's some more Chubb family. I don't know exactly who they are, but they're here. I like the 2-in-1 tombstones. I'm guessing this was a husband and wife. Now these vines here, from what I gather, haven't been here too long. They just started taking over the front of the Chubb family plot. So maybe one day the city of Westland will clean these up. Show you the backside of the family plot. And then we have this tombstone right here off to the side. It says Irene on top. I'm not quite sure all of the inscription on this. Daughter of E and G Fogarty, July 27th, 1908 to June 19th, 1909. And I can't quite make out what it says on the bottom. Maybe it'll show up on camera. Sorry for the noise, we're right next to a roadway. Looks like this was just a baby, 1-year-old baby, not even, like 11 months. Okay, so the front of the cemetery is right here. The video's a little longer than I expected it to be, but hang in there. We're halfway done. Maybe more than halfway done. Elmer Decker, Baby Polgar, Samuel McCarthy. So to shorten this video up a little bit, I'm gonna go past about 10 more tombstones, crosses here fairly quickly to honor these people who are in this cemetery. We have a soldier here. Flag was left, probably on Memorial Day. John Chambers. Olive Chambers. Louisa Chambers. Looks like we have a whole bunch of Chambers here. One day I'm gonna have to do some research on the internet on the Chambers in this cemetery. We have Ellen Jane Chambers. Lauren Chambers. Died right in the middle of the Civil War, 1863. 22 years old. They sure did die young back then. We have a couple more over here, like 4 more crosses to look at and a tombstone. We have Harriet A. Norris. George O. Norris. And this one's no names other than children of John and Electa Norris. And it says plural, children, so more than one. It's a shame that children die so young sometimes. We have this one here. Edward Maw, Now I recognize that name, doing some research on the cemetery, but I can't quite place the significance of the name. If you're curious, research that on Google. So, last stone, W.M. Polgar, 1827 to 1901, and Sarah Ann, his wife, 1833 to 1868. Okay, we're about ready to end this video. Can you imagine that? Going over a whole cemetery, every grave in it, in about 15 minutes. That's how small this cemetery is, maybe 100 square feet by 100 square feet. And to get the last shot in here, I'm gonna get the American flag blowing in the wind. God bless America, and as always, happy dark adventures.